Move this up and over just a little bit. Make sure my camera is good. And it's kind of putting it in. Let me adjust this camera on. Get this in. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. As you are, hello, Brandon. Brandon, you're always the first. Good deal. Well, recently you've always been the first.
Economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many
Brandon
workers.
From North Carolina.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign of what's going to happen to these other workers moving forward. And I talked a little.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher.
As I'm talking about or listening to about crypto, cut this down, make sure everything is good. So you all come in, just say hello, right? Or just represent your city and or state, right? Let me know what city and state you're in. Hello, Patrick says, Ash, my beautiful sister. I can't read all that, but thank you so much for doing a wonderful job of teaching. Thank you all so much. Let me see if I can bring this board up just a little bit. All right, so that helps. But you're going to see the glare. Someone told me, Queen, you haven't talked about credit in some time. Yeah, I haven't. I needed a little break from credit, right? I get off credit for 3 months. After talking about it for 3 years, some people get a little, I don't know. I guess if they have credit issues or situation, they want to know what's going on, right? So I decided to do something on credit today. Life lesson, want to be first, get valuable information. Yes, that is. I always seek to be first in life. That is a great life lesson. Good afternoon, Gwen. Thanks for coming in the Credit and Cash Flow Room. Got Springfield, Massachusetts checking in. Let's finish listening to this.
We certainly want to see
as you are coming in, hit like and hit share. Let me know if you can hear me well.
We certainly want to see banks succeed in this new world order.
We're in a bubble right now. And the only thing that looks good is the stock market. But if you raise interest rates even a little bit, that's going to come crashing down. We are in a big, fat, ugly bubble. And we better be awfully careful. And we have a Fed that's doing political things. This Janet Yellen of the Fed. With the 19 trillion in debt now going up to 21 trillion. 21 trillion, you know how much money that is? We got to be smart. Now we got to really be smart because we don't have money anymore. You know, we're a poor nation. We're a debtor nation. And we could be on a bubble, and that bubble could crash, and it's not going to be a pretty picture.
Trump says you
know,
gotta
the
be
market's
smart
gone down big league
because we don't have money anymore. Y'all know what that means?
We could be on a big fat bubble, and if that bubble crashes, it's a problem.
Wow, that was just something I'm listening to. President Trump making that statement years ago saying we have to be smart because we don't have money anymore. That goes right over some people's heads, right? They don't get it. United States is broke. Glad to see you too, Gail. Glad to see you too. So let's discuss credit real quick, right? And I may go live. Go ahead, hit that like button, right? I'm going to stop the 5 minutes of fame right now. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up, whether you are watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope. Pump those hearts, show some digital love. Periscope really likes Credit Church. I didn't get as many views on Periscope, but it's over 500 views on Periscope for my Sunday's Credit Church, right? Someone told me you should do Kanye West Sunday service, but that's already trademarked, right? Kanye West has big money. I don't have time for Kanye West to have a lawsuit against me because I've stolen his trademark. So let me adjust this. Or I'm using his trademark brand company names of Sunday service. So I'm going to keep Credit Church, right? This is a registered trademark that I have, right? So let's discuss something that I've been taking a mental break from, which is credit, right? Which is credit. So I've had some people that say, Queen, I have an 800 credit score, right? I'm still getting denied for credit. What's going on? What's up? Now, I've been informing you all since the beginning of this year, 2020, that FICO 10 would be coming into play, right? And this seems to be a prime example of the second phase. The first phase was your resilience score, which could simply means this came into play in July over the summer. Your ability to pay back the loan or the debt, right? That was the first phase. Second phase, FICO 10, being silently adopted. And what I mean by silently is that if you have free platforms like Credit Karma or Credit Sesame or Mint, right, they're going to still update and show you the old scoring model, right? So you know there's a difference between your Vantage score and your FICO score, right? FICO score is the score that most banks and lenders use. So unless you have an account with Experian, many people are, if you are doing business with the bank and or credit union, many people are just not aware of what their FICO score can be. So if you have a credit card, for example, with Navy Federal, you will get a free FICO 9 credit score monthly, right? Or update monthly, right? It's something that comes with the services. If you're with Wells Fargo, then you will get a free FICO credit score update as well. However, many people don't know the true FICO score. So that's why I always advise people to go to Experian, www.experian.com. Let me just show you the backdrop of that website. And at least with Experian, you can have an idea of what your FICO score is, right? What your FICO score is. Let me make sure I'm connected. Let me give my internet one moment to update. Okay, let me see. Can I pull up Experian? So you can have an idea. I left one of what one of your FICO scores are on Experian, and this is no charge to you, no cost to you. This is for free, right? So you can go to Experian.com for free and at least be updated on your FICO 8 credit score, right? And also, if you want to know other or your Vantage score, you can also go to Credit Karma, because Credit Karma does update every 7 days, right? You won't have your true FICO score. And if you see it here, see FICO credit score. So know the difference, right? Know the difference of what you're going. Your credit score on Experian is based off the FICO 8 model, right? So if you use a different lender or insurancer different than FICO 8 or another type of credit score altogether, it will not show your score, but it's always good to know what your true FICO score is. Now, if you go to Credit Karma again, you're going to see the language of something called Vantage score, right? And there are some credit card companies, I think, like Capital One. Capital One shows you, or they pull from credit cards, pull from your FICO score. So you have Capital One that pull from your FICO score. And Vantage score. You have Capital One that pull from your Vantage score, actually. And to be honest with you, I think that American Express, some of your American Express account pull from your Vantage 3 score as well. So if you look on Credit Karma, this is your credit score, right? Your Vantage score. Now, I don't see anything on here that disclaims that it's a Vantage score, but yes, Credit Karma is your Vantage score model. It is not FICO. Now, if you want to know what are your other FICO credit scores, then you should invest in myfico.com. Then that way, again, if you don't have an account with a company or business or bank, right, or credit union that will give you access to know your FICO 9, usually Navy Federal's FICO 9 and Wells Fargo as well, then you can always, discover FICO 8 for TransUnion. You can always go to myfico.com, right? You can always go here to myfico.com and get access to your complete 3 bureau credit scores updated every month. As you see the pricing, if you the basic pricing is just for Experian, which is $19 a month, right? And that's only for Experian. So my, logic is why pay $19 a month when Experian offer this for free, right? So this is only your Experian score. 1 bureau is $19 a month. If you want the advanced, where you can see Equifax and TransUnion, all FICO scores, is $29 monthly. And if you want the premium services, which includes some additional services, which you get a complete score for your mortgages, auto loans, and more. Just know too, your mortgages will be FICO score model 2, 3, and 5. So when we talk about the FICO 10 implementation, I do not believe that Sallie Mae or Freddie Mac will adopt, right, or will change to FICO 10. They probably more than likely will continue to use FICOs 2, 3, and 5, right? So now there are people who are saying, I have an 800 credit score and I'm not getting approved for a home loan, for example. And a lot of people just think, well, that's just because you have a high debt ratio. No, it's because FICO 10 is calculating, right, your debt ratio at a higher percentage than the other FICO models. For example, if you're trying to get approved for a home, or if you're trying to get approved for an auto loan, or if you're trying to get approved for a credit card, right? Because in years or months past or weeks past, right, you can have, for example, high student loan debt and still get approved for housing with especially with over an 800 credit score. And when I say high credit student loan debt, I mean student loan debt that's 200,000, 100,000, right? 6-figure student loan debt. But now with the debt ratio, people that have high credit scores, 800 credit scores, after the recalculation of these credit models, are getting denied, because now your installment loans or personal loans and student loan is carrying more weight, right, than they did just in the beginning of this year, for example. So let's break down some top secrets about points and going towards credit score, right? Let's break down this. I, decided to do a little somewhat teaching today. Let me see if I need to move this over some. All right, so now we're good. So now, for example, under the FICO scoring model, if you do not have a bankruptcy, you never filed for bankruptcy, right? Your credit score calculation, because under the FICO scoring model, right, the highest score that you can get is an 850, right? Your highest credit score under FICO is an 850. And FICO 850 is like a math algorithm that you use in school. Everything is calculated by what you do or what you do not do. So I'm gonna break that down. A lot of times people will ask, got a new microphone, so let me lower that. A lot of times people will ask me, well, what's the best balance to carry on my trade line? Whether it's a credit card or debit card, right? I mean, not debit card, credit card or department store card or a charge card. What's the best balance to carry on those cards? Well, I'm going to break that down for you today. So if you're a person that has no bankruptcy, you never filed for bankruptcy on your credit report, then you have 75 points, right? 75 points out of the 850 calculation into your credit profile, credit score. Now, this is where the lower points equation comes in. And this is why I tell people, whenever you are disputing a bankruptcy from your credit report, the age of the bankruptcy plays a big part, right? Whenever you're disputing a bankruptcy on your credit report, the age of the bankruptcy plays a big part. So if your bankruptcy is not 2 years old or older, the longer the amount of time it will take to dispute this off of your credit report, right? I have a client right now that has 2 bankruptcies reporting. 2. One is a discharge and one is a dismiss, and it's newly dated, meaning that it's within the 2-year window of when this reporting hit the credit report, and he's or was expecting for those bankruptcy to be deleted within 5 or 6 months. It does not work that way. The younger the bankruptcy is, right, the newly reported the bankruptcy is, the longer it takes to report. Once they get past 3 years, then it's usually easier to come off. It can take weeks and months. So when you see people or you're watching videos of people saying, I got a bankruptcy deleted in 30 days and 40 days, more than likely, that was an older bankruptcy that was older than 2 years old. And the reason why that's still a good thing, because a Chapter 7 bankruptcy is scheduled to stay on your credit report for up to 7 years, right? And a Chapter 13 can stay, a Chapter 7 bankruptcy is scheduled to stay on your credit report for 10 years, not 7, 10 years. And a Chapter 13 is scheduled to stay on your credit report for 7 years, right? And so if you get it deleted after 3 years, that's still great success, right? So if your bankruptcy is within 5 months, you only get 10 points towards your credit score, right? So if it's within 5 months, only 10 points within your credit score. So anything 1 to 3 months, right? I probably should change this to number 1. Because if it's 0 months, or let's say you just filed and within 2 weeks and it hasn't, it's not showing yet. So anything 1 to 5 months is 10 points. Then you have 6 to 11 months. So it gets 6 to 11 months. Now you're only getting credited 15 points towards your highest possible points of 850. Now, if it's 12 to 23 months, it's 25 points, right? You get 25 points credit on your credit report. And this is why once that bankruptcy get 2 years or older, it's easier for deletion, right? And this is with majority of everything negative on your credit report, whether it be a collection, whether it be a charge off or your late payments. Once they get past that 2-year time frame of reporting, the more points you get added to your credit report, right? So this is the second most frequently asked question that I get. And if any one of you all have questions, ask me now. I may or may not. I'll see if I have time to answer it concerning your credit, because I'm on my way to the gym to get my workout on. And so because I've been wanting to talk about other topics to give myself a mental break, I may address 1 or 2 questions since you all caught me live that you may have to ask about your credit as I break down trade lines, right? So it is a little glare, but I'm going to read it to you. So, we're going to work past the glare. If you have no trade line, right? No credit card, no department store card, right? No line of credit, right? Reporting on your credit report, then you'll get just 30 points towards the 850 possible points you can get, right? So this is why you need to show, or you need a good trade line, department store, credit, charge card, credit card report to your credit report, right? You can tell it's been a long time or a couple of months since I talked about credit. I feel a little rusty, right? But let's go ahead. So if you have a 0 balance for the people that credit cards, the balance off in full every month before the statement reporting date, right? Not the balance due date, but the statement reporting date, you will get charged 0 interest. So a lot of people believe that you'll always get charged interest on the credit cards, but that's because they don't pay their balances off in full every month. And they allow balances to carry over and accumulate, right? So you get 55 points if you carry a zero balance. That's a great deal. If you carry a balance from, let's say you want to say $1, right? From $1 to $99, it's still the same point spread. So even if it's at $1 balance, right, or $99, I'm sorry for that glare, then let me see if I can adjust this. Let me switch my camera. Let me see which one the glare is coming from. Give me 1 second. I think it's coming from the camera, so I'm not sure if I can even adjust it or not. Okay, that's a little better. I see which one. Okay. All right, so let's do this. It's going to be a little darker for a while, but you'll be able to see the backdrop. So if your balance is from $1 to $99, then you get accredited 65 points, right? 65 points. So that's 65 points for a $1 to $99 balance. Now, if you're carrying that balance from $100 to $499, then you get 50 points of credit to your credit report. So just keeping a balance over $100, right, drops your point spread by 15 points, right? So I'm showing you this so you can have a ballpark figure if you're a person that values your credit cards and your cash flow, or where you need to keep your credit cards and or department store card balances every month, right? And this is, this is Target cards, this is whatever, department store cards, my Jewelers Club, I can't think of the other one. But anyway, department store cards and credit cards, right? So now if you keep a balance from $50 to $749, you only get 40 points credit, right? So from 50 to 49, what am I saying? From 500 to 749, right? You only get 40 points balance. Now you have from $750, right? $750 to $999. You get 25 points credit. And so then the last stage is, or the last balance is $1,000 or more. You're only going to get 15 points credit. So the best balance to keep your credit towards is really $1. Pay it all the way down, may carry $1 on it, because that will give you an additional 10 points. You see the difference between zero balance and anywhere from $100 to $499 is only 5 points, right? So if you want the full credited, it'll be better to just, carry over $1 balance, right? So I hope this helped you all. Just know again that if you're a bankruptcy, it's 2 years of age or older. Not only do you get the highest points of credit to your credit report for that at 55 points, but it's also easier to dispute. But if you have a bankruptcy that's from 0 or 1 month reporting to 23 months, right? Not only do you get the least amount of points accredited, but this time frame is the hardest, it's the most challenging to get these bankruptcy. If you have a bankruptcy that's 1 month old or 23 months old, you should expect at least a year of disputing or challenging to get that bankruptcy deleted off your credit report, because that's just how strong of a hold or a strong grasp that the credit agencies are going to hold you, because they want to keep that reporting for 2 years. That's the same with your collections. That's the same with your charge-offs, right? They want to keep those reporting on your 2 years, because that 2 year window, right? That 2 year window is that most crucial time of your credit in which it adds or deducts from your pointing scale or your pointing system, right? Okay, so let me see if I have any questions before I go. Get my workout on. Am I still accepting any new clients? Do you think FICO 10 would go? FICO 10 is here. That's why a lot of people are saying, hey, I have an 800 credit score, right? And I'm getting denied still. FICO 10 takes into calculation all of your debts on a higher scale than than the older FICO models, right? So if you have student loan debts now, whereas people could have 6-figure student loan debt and still get approved for a home, now people are getting denied. So it's not necessarily your credit score. And a lot of people don't know this because they do not have account services with the true FICO, myfico.com. So people are getting denied now more than ever because of their debt load, right? The amount of debt that's reported on their credit report because of the new FICO scoring system. So I was added as authorized user. I wanted to help me apply for a loan using an AU. See if that authorized user is allowing you, what point spread did being added as an AU help you, and also keep into account when you're adding to the authorized user, what balance, right? What balance does the primary or the main card holder is carrying on that credit report, and how many years have they had that credit, right? So did adding you as an authorized user increase? So the first question, am I still accepting new clients? I am doing credit consulting, right? But I am taking a vacation from the actual credit repair. I'm working on one client, and it's only 2 days until Christmas right now. That was an old client, but I will actually go back into doing the disputing for credit on January let me see. January the 11th. That's a Monday of 2021. So I'm not doing any disputing right now for new clients. However, if you want to get ahead of the 8 ball, so I can dispute for you beginning January the 11th, you can go ahead and invest in credit consultation. Go to my website, www.fixmycreditandcash.com, and invest in that credit consultation if you want to be the top of my list to help you get your disputes together. This again is my website. I copied a link and paste for it and go to credit help. So if you want to be on top of my list of helping you going into next year with disputing, and if you're not already a previous client, then this is my website, fixmycreditandcash.com. Go to credit help, credit services, book online, custom credit analysis is investment of $125. Need credit help, start here. And it gives you detailed explanation of what steps to follow to receive a credit analysis and or a consultation. You submit payment here by clicking on this link. Make sure that when you submit your payment that you include your name and email. That's step 2. After you included your name and email, then you have to pull your full tri-merge or 3 credit agencies credit report. This is the link to pull that credit report here. So that's step 3. Step 4 is after you pull that credit report, you create your own username and password. So once you create your own username and password, you need to email me back that login information, right, that you created. So it's 4-step process, right? You pay, include your name and email, you pull your full tri-merge credit report is step 3. And then you have to email me, and this is my email address, included in the instruction, right, at ld@fixmycreditandcash.com. And that's to get on the list beginning January the 11th. Let me see, any more questions? My mortgage payment company is reporting that I paid late. And I've always paid them on time. Definitely, yeah, because one late payment could drop your credit score as much as 60 or 30 points, right? So call your mortgages, see if it was some type of conflict of why they didn't receive payment. Did you change your payment method? Have you always did electronically? Have you did paper payment through checks? Or did you change your banking institution, right? It has to be some logic. Call the mortgage company first, speak with them directly. Tell them that it's reporting late and you paid on time as agreed, and ask them to update that to paid on time as agreed on your credit report. So that's the first step you would take with that late payment if you have truly paid on time. Now, for some people that may have been paying late because of the pandemic, then you will have to challenge that directly with the credit agencies that it's reporting late with. So if it's all three of them, you have to dispute that with Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, or whatever one, and go directly through the disputing process with them to show you the proper documentation of accuracy that they have in fact is reporting late. So it's so many different reasons, right, that you can dispute a late payment, or different dispute methods. It's not just one, it's more than one, right? So in order to get that done, Javon says, so maybe I'm overthinking it. I have a 5-year-old light bill and broken apartment lease and hospital bills. Should I really just focus on building? I have 2 AU credit. No, you should not focus on building unless those negatives are older than 2 years, right? But if you have like the light bill you're saying is 5 years old, but when was it reported as a charge off on your credit report, right? If it was in that 2-year window, then you need to dispute that first. If it could be 5 years old, but they just reported in 2019, you know what I'm saying? So hospital bill, apartment lease, if they were recently reported in 2019 and are 2020, right? Because we're about to enter into 2021. So what was reported in 2018, it will not no longer a factor into your credit report going into 2021. So if they were reported in 2019 and this year 2020, you definitely should focus on disputing those to get them deleted, because having them having the AU trade lines will increase your credit score, but it will deny you approval. You have to get the negatives out first. I always tell people you cannot add sugar onto shit, right? You have to get the negative out first. And again, a lot of people are still having high credit scores with AU trade line, but FICO 10 looks at your 2-year history now. It used to be under the old scoring model of credit scores, it will only look at a 30 or 45 day window, a snapshot of what your credit looks like. Now they're going back and looking at your entirety of your 2-year history. So adding a AU trade line that was just added 30 or 60 days ago, that will also fall off if you're paying for it in 30 to 60 days, will not help you for your approval, right? It will not help you in the approval process. What information resource if I want to learn about suing the collection companies and bureaus for violations? Ashanti, that's a great question, but a lot of people don't sue the agencies and bureaus simply because the agencies and bureaus is a $1 billion company, and a lot of people don't have the money and the time to tie into that, right? But I don't know of any particular books or anything. I think Brandon Weaver, right? Go to Brandon Weaver on YouTube. He has a lot of YouTube videos about that process of suing the credit agencies and the credit bureaus. Just know a lot of your time may or may not be taken in the process, right? It depends on the situation. It depends on the situation and circumstance. So it may be to your advantage to just dispute it outright. And let me say this. I've been getting somewhat a lot of emails from people stating, Queen, it's 30 days and I haven't heard anything from the credit agencies. Okay, let me address that as well. And especially if you're looking to become a new client for 2021. That's why I advise my clients to get free accounts with Experian and Credit Karma, right? There is no excuse in 2020 of people informing me that I haven't heard anything in the mail from the credit agencies. And this is why most people inform me of this, is because they've heard from other maybe YouTube videos or other sources that if you haven't heard anything from the credit agencies after 30 days, that that's an easy, for sure way to get those accounts deleted. Let me tell you something, people. If you send your registered affidavit to the credit agencies and it's been 30 calendar days, right? Calendar days, not business days, 30 calendar days. And now you have to send in a non-response letter after 30 days. If it's taking an additional 30 days for you to receive anything via mail, how long do you think that non-response letter is going to take? And it's no excuse when you can have a free account with Experian that you can check your updates online for free. Experian religiously will email you your credit results and Credit Karma. And so a lot of people have this myth that, for example, if I haven't heard from the credit agencies in 30 days, this is an easy, for sure way for me to get accounts deleted. No, it is not. No, it is not. That is so far from the truth, right? Because let me tell you, this is a $1 trillion company. They're in the business of keeping you in bad credit. Do you think little games like putting the wrong date on your affidavit and mailing it off will work? Let me tell you why that won't work. Because if you send it certified, they have the proof of when they received it. And it's not 30 days from the day that you went to USPS or the United States Postal Service. It's 30 days from when the credit agencies receive your letter, right? So you have to check the tracking on your certified mailing, especially if you're my client, because the time does not start ticking until they receive or recipient. And if you all know, United States Postal Services are having delays in their mailings. So just because if you're my client, I send you an email and say, hey, this was mailed today on this day, it may take 5 to 7 days before the credit agencies receive it. So it's your job, your responsibility to do these 3 things, right? Number 1, have an account with Experian so you can get your updates online and via email. Number 2, have your accounts with Credit Karma so you can get TransUnion and Equifax update every 7 days, and you can log on and check it yourself. Credit Karma and Experian are 2 great free ways to check your updates. Number 3, if you're my client, right, I provide you the phone numbers to all 3 credit agencies. If it's entering into the 3rd week, you could call, and a lot of this stuff can get handled over the phone and say, listen, I sent in, our affidavit was mailed. I see that you are recipient or you received it on this date, right? I'm checking the update of my status. They will then ask you identifying questions so you can identify and prove your identity. I cannot get on the phone with Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion and prove and verify your identity for you. That's why credit restoration and repair is a work together process. Your identity must be verified and proven by you, the individual. I do not work for Creditfax, TransUnion, and Experian. So a lot of people think that this is a legal loophole and you can get that account deleted the same way if you had the 2 free monitoring services and if you will call the credit agencies and put some time and effort in your credit restoration process as well, right? That expedited when they hear from you when you call, and they have to pull your file because now you have just brought attention to your credit file. They have to record any phone conversation, right? Any communications with you, whether it's via phone, email, or snail mail, right, through the United States Postal Service. So don't think these little tricks and games that, okay, I'm going to mail out an affidavit today, December 22nd, but on my affidavit, I'm going to put the date December the 1st. And then after 2 weeks, I'm going to contact the credit agencies and do a 30-day no dispute. No, if you send that certified, which you should, because you have to have proof that they received it. If you don't have proof, then it's irrelevant anyway to send a 30-day non-respond letter. So once you have the proof that they have received your affidavit and the date that they received it, it does not matter the date of the letter, right? Because the certified receipt is going to prove when it was in their hands. No matter what date, you can date it for 2019 if you want to and tell them it's been a year. But the certified letter is not going to support that. So stop believing these loopholes that don't work. And even in a 30-day non-response letter, right, they still have 15 days to respond. So if you're not legally equipped and know the laws, or you're not financially equipped to fight them, then what's going to force them, right, to respond or know those laws? So it's best to just have the free online credit monitoring through Experian and Credit Karma. All right. What's the best way to handle high medical bills, six-figure debt? If the medical bills have been, right, sold to a debt collector, right? If your medical bill is sold to a debt collector, the best way to handle that is to ask the validation of debt directly from the debt collector, which means they must produce the original contract between them and the hospital or the clinic that they purchased the debt from. Debt validation is not sending you a statement in the mail saying, this is the services you received at the clinic or the hospital, and this is why we're saying you owe X amount of thousands of dollars. So ask for the proper debt validation, not what you see on Google for free, right? And then if it's reported on your credit report, medical collections are usually a very easy collection because of violation of your health information laws that had to be communicated to get deleted off a credit report. So I hope that helped you. Donna says, if a company has reported a charge off in 3 years, but you have been paying it since the charge off, can they? Yes, they can report it at any time, because you paying that company is admission of your debt. And let's say that they haven't reported in 3 years and you get through some type of financial strain or struggle or distress, and you're not able to make payment in December. Well, then you're 30 days late. So they have the right to report that as late. So when you pay a charge off, or even a collection account, right, even if it's $5, you are admitting through the payment of that debt. So it's always best to ask for debt validation in those cases, right? And you may have negotiated the debt with the charge-off company. You negotiated it and you agreed to pay a third less. But if you do not make those payments on time and prompt, they still will have the right to report late and to make a negative reporting on your credit report. Lavette, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Go back, Sandra, and watch the beginning of this. Yes, the bankruptcy can be removed. They can be deleted, right? Bankruptcies are reported not through the courthouses that you filed the bankruptcy at. So when a credit agency reports a bankruptcy or any negative on your account, right, they must have firsthand knowledge from the source that you was negative or derogatory with, right? Hospital bills reported. You should have got the medical collection deleted off of your credit report before adding any AU trade lines. So that's not going to help you. Get the negative deleted first. And even AU trade lines are not helping now, right? Because again, credit agencies is looking at a 2-year history of your credit history, and those AU trade lines may only stay on your credit report for 30 to 60 days. It depends on whatever agreement you make. It is legal to buy AU trade lines, right? But once they're gone, you're going to lose some points. It's just like having an open credit card that you close. Once you close it, you lose points. Or once it's closed, you may not close it. Maybe the creditor, you're going to lose some points, right? So having AU trade lines will temporarily give you a boost, right? But once the agreement has ended and you're dropped as an authorized user, if you're not on a friend or family member's credit card, your points are going to take a dip again. And so also FICO 10 in July made it where your resilience score was taken into consideration. So even if you have the point spread, does not mean you'll get approval. Resilience score takes in your income, right? If you have a job that they feel like is recession proof, and what's your likelihood? What is your ability to repay? Do you have a job that's deemed to be essential in which they feel you will not have to be furloughed or laid off, and that you can repay on that debt? So it's more than just having an AU trade line that's taken in consideration. But because before July, right, before July of this year, income was not a factor on getting approval on your credit report or credit profile by banks and lenders. But now income is a factor. So not only is your debt ratio a factor, right? Now your income is, and the likelihood that you will have income to repay the debt, right? Last question, and I have to go work out. Since the C word, no, that's not true. They still have up to 30 days, 30 calendar days to respond. However, what they were doing was sending letter or notification to people that their account is in dispute or under investigation, and to allow an extension of 15 days. And that was usually a 45-day time frame. So not 60 days, but a 45-day time frame. However, it is taking longer than usual, not just because of the credit agencies, right? But because of United States Postal Services. It used to take 3 to 5 days to get affidavits there. Now it's taking anywhere from 5 to 7 days. And that clock does not start calculating until the dispute is received. So that's why it's always wise and intelligent to send it certified mail, right? To send it certified mail. And it's also wise to just get a free account with Experian and Credit Karma. Yes, I do require credit repair is an investment, but I'm giving you 2 platforms that you can even get it for free. Experian and Credit Karma monitors your credit for free. So those are 2 free credit monitor services. But they do have to keep those monitor service while in my program, because these are the people that's going to text or email me daily saying or some people just say, I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing. Or I ain't heard from the credit agents. I'm like, did you log into the Experian? Did you log into Credit Karma? Since you ain't got nothing in the mail. And sometimes people do get something in the mail, like they do their debt collectors letters. They just overlook them, and they really do get communications in the mail from the credit agencies. And this is I know, because when I do my own personal credit report, I've never had a problem with the credit agencies responding to me in 30 days. Never, ever. Personally, when I do it for friends and family, ever. Only other clients, and this is because they've heard these rumors and myths that if you don't hear for 30 days, that's an easy, for sure way, right, to get the account off. Well, by law, they've heard, and that's farthest from the truth. Because even when you submit a 30-day no response letter, right, they still have 15 days. But even when you get notification in 30 days, you can still get and they verify the debt, you still can submit a method of verification letter that requires 15 days. So a lot of people are just impatient because now these credit sweeps are not working. Credit sweep is when you or someone that you work with claim that you were a victim of identity theft, and these accounts reported on your credit report were a result, right? This charge off was not mine. Someone stole my identity and stole a credit card, and this charge off is in their name. So when you're stating you're a victim of identity theft, something has to be done fast because someone supposedly has stolen your identity, right? They don't want you to be in a situation because of the actions of someone else. But after investigation, right, which usually when they receive the credit sweep, and upon receiving it, they will temporarily remove, right, not delete, temporarily remove those accounts, meaning they will hide them or block them until they do a thorough investigation. Let's investigate this. And then they investigation and say, no, you wasn't a victim of identity theft. This is your charge out. This is your collection. And then the items are replaced. And I tell people all the time, if it takes you years and months to accumulate bad credit, you know how long it takes for a charge off to report? 6 months. 6 months of non-payment. So you can't tell me that you didn't get those bill notifications in the mail from the creditors, right? And you're not hearing from Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion that all of them have the same address. So if it took you 6 months and you patiently ignored those envelopes and did not send in payment for whatever reason, right? Could have been voluntary or involuntary, right? Maybe you didn't have the money. Maybe you went through some life issues. Have that same mindset to get that off. Yep, not doing any more disputes until January the 11th, right? I'm still doing credit analysis, yes, but I'm not doing any more disputes until January the 11th. So you can get your credit analysis in. Go to my website, fixmycreditandcash.com. You can get an analysis did so you can be the top of the line in order for me to dispute January the 11th, right? Let me see. All right, everyone, yes, please hit the like button, because guess what? You don't hit the like button when I talk about credit. I started talking about crypto and credit church. So if you want credit answers help, then show some love. And I was talking to my mentor, and he told me this. He said, he called me by my first name. He said, when you go live stream and people only take and they give nothing, he said, that's actual illegal. Right? Because people have to know the law of reciprocity. They have to know the law of giving and receiving. And so that's why a lot of them don't get help, or they don't get assistance, or they don't get credit results, because they get the information from you and they don't even pay a price for the information. Whether it be financially, you don't even give a super chat. You don't hit a thumbs up, right? And then that's why the law of giving and receiving and the law of reciprocity does not work for you. This is a universal law. And so whenever someone gives you something, right, you're supposed to give, and that giving in return will help you with your situation. So let me log off. You all have a great evening.